Welcome to Red Devils Talk, everyone. This is your Newcastle United preview. We are playing at Old Trafford. And of course, I'll be speaking about our game against Ammonia that we had last night. A 1-0 win, a late winner by Scott McTominay. We'll also be speaking about Ten Hag and the press conference that he had after the Ammonia game for the Newcastle game. And of course, reports coming in of João Felix linked to us for January. A lot we will be getting into today, but of course, subscribe to the channel and drop a like. It definitely does help the channel out. I'm thankful for those who are joining me and those who show support to the channel. So let's get into the report of João Felix wanting to leave Atletico Madrid in January. Now, we know João Felix, we know his quality, we know that he's Portuguese, we know that he is seen as the next Ronaldo for Portugal, and a quality player, a quality attacker, a player that can be a potential player for us. But in my opinion, I do not think we are going for João Felix. I think it is just a bit of name dropping, as they say in the transfer world, where a journalist and an agent would use a big club's name in order to get a move for a certain player. Now, I'm not saying João Felix is unhappy at Atletico Madrid, but I don't think we would be able to afford him. He is and will be an expensive player to sign in January. So, not much to be said on him, but we had to speak about it. We had to make mention of it because it is in the news and it is of relevance to Manchester United. Now, I want to speak about the game against Ammonia last night, and we had lots of chances. Lots of chances. We probably should have won the game by 4, maybe 5-0, and we dominated, but we were not clinical enough in the chances we had. Ten Hag definitely made mention of Rashford missing chances. He also spoke about where we can improve, and that is why I have in the thumbnail Ten Hag seeks improvements, and not just based on last night, but also going ahead, especially for our game against Newcastle. We will have to be better, as he said it, and I will read it to you when I get into his quotes about Newcastle. He said that we have to be at our best, and Newcastle is definitely not going to be like Omonia. They're not going to sit back and try and counter attack us. They will try and press us. They will try and play on the ball because they have been in good form. They have shown good ball playing abilities, and Eddie Howe has definitely shown glimpses of what he wants to do at Newcastle, and that has shown and been of confidence to the players, the likes of Saint Maximan, Almiron, Callum Wilson, etc. These players can cause a threat to us, and if we are not on it, they can upset us at Old Trafford. And yes, their record, at Old Trafford is not that great. They haven't won at Old Trafford in quite a number of years, but they are still a quality team with players that can cause us damage if we are not fully prepared and if we do not apply ourselves and go out there and win the match. We saw against Omonia that we could have conceded, but we had a good defense. The gear was done well off his line. And I don't know what it is about goalkeepers that come to Manchester United and play at Old Trafford. I don't know what it is, but they become world class. I mean, Omonia's goalkeeper was not even their first choice for Omonia. And he came in and he was absolutely world class. Now, of course, you can say the saves that he made are saves that are supposed to be made. But on the other hand, we couldn't score. We wasted chances. Rashford had chances to score too. There was moments where we could have put the ball in the net way before we had to wait until the 93rd minute for a winner from McTominay. And of course, McTominay done well in the box, a bit of good control and a close range finish. But we still have a lot to improve upon. There is still a lot that we need to work on in order to be clinical. We could have won by 4, 5-0, but we were not clinical enough. The chances that we got are supposed to go in. Now, of course, it will come with time, and of course, it will be of a longer term project that we have, and that is what Ten Hag wants to do. You've seen the way we play, you've seen the way we press, but there are still many improvements that need to be made. Now, Ammonia, as I said, were not going to come at us all guns blazing, but they did defend quite deep, and that has been a problem for us of late. Teams that defend deep, low blocks, as they say, we need to break them down. We need to have them not be so difficult for us as opposition. And it's easy for us to play against teams that come at us because we simply just counter attack them and destroy them, like we did Arsenal, like we did Liverpool. But having to break down a team that defends well, that is a different type of game. And that is the game that Ten Hag wants to develop, the ball possession game, a game where we can break those type of teams easily down by good quick play in and around the box and getting crosses in with a striker that can score goals in the air and not just on the ground. Now, of course, we know Ronaldo can do that, but against Omonia, you would have expected him to score, but he didn't. And maybe he kept his energy for Newcastle on Sunday. We don't know, but you would have expected Ronaldo to score last night against opposition like Omonia. He didn't, and that again raises a concern of, is that consistency that Ronaldo had and has still there? In my opinion, yes, it is, and I think, in my opinion, he just basically rested himself and didn't use as much energy as he would, because I think he expected the likes of Marcus Rashford to go and score, to seal the game for us. That was not the case, but we still got the goal in the end. Some would say we got lucky. I don't think so. I think it was a deserved goal in the end that we got. And yes, some might say it's only ammonia. In my opinion, a win is a win. Whether you score 8 or whether you score 1, a win is a win. And that constitutes to good rhythm, good confidence within the players, and a sense of team spirit being grown even more. And that in itself leaves us with a positive vibe going into Newcastle. That being said, I want to give you the quotes of what Ten Hag said. And first of all, in terms of injuries, this is what he had to say on Maguire and Anthony Martial. He says Anthony Martial can be fit to face Newcastle, but we have to wait and see how he does in the coming hours. Maguire will not make it, but next week I think he will be back in the team training. Once again, Martial is in a race to be fit for Sunday against Newcastle. If he is, will Ten Hag start him if he's match fit? I think he will. I think he will start Martial, basically based on his performances when he has played for us, and basically because he provides us with a more mobile striker rather than a more stagnant Ronaldo that we know is a threat but won't be as mobile as Anthony Martial. I do not, honestly, I'm not going to lie, but I don't really care about Harry Maguire being injured. I think it benefits the team. We've been a better defense without him. And when he does come in, it'll probably just be to try and keep himself fit for the World Cup. I don't think Maguire has really any chance of being a regular starter for us in the future. And I think this could be his last season, in my opinion. I think he's the type of player that is, if he feels if he's not starting regularly at Manchester United, he probably will look to move. Whether we get a chance to sell him and whether we can sell him to another club is another question. I mean, the likes of Phil Jones are still at the club and they cannot be sold. So whether he gets sold actually is a question, but I think he will want to move on, because I don't think he will want to be on the bench season or for another season, sorry, because of him being, one, a captain, and two, him being an England international. So that in itself will leave him at a disadvantage coming into the future. Now, Ten Hag spoke about wanting improvements. Now, he was asked last night about the performance and said, was the result the only thing that matters? And he said, no. And these were the things that he pointed out. And I just want to speak about Anthony and Rashford. And he said, development. We have seen a few now from his dribbling capabilities, his speed, finishing, also creating. But now also he has to work on more variation. Scholes came out and said that Anthony is a one trick pony. He silenced him with a goal against Everton. And his performances have shown that he's not a one trick pony. But I think Ten Hag is definitely pushing Anthony, knowing that he can improve more, knowing that he has got bags of potential to become absolutely world class. And he needs to look to take on his man and beat him. go in on the right hand side, go to the byline and cross it. Try and perhaps, play one twos in and around the box and get in behind. We have seen him take shots from long range. We have seen him cross in with his left foot, and we have seen him lay the ball or for others to cross the ball in. But there is more to come from Anthony, and I think more will come from Anthony as the season goes on. On Rashford, I said he had chances to score. We know the opportunity where the ball fell for him after the goalkeeper saved it against Ammonia. He could have tapped it in, but did not react quick enough. And we know about the opportunity where he ran in one on one and he basically kicked it wide, where he probably would have scored. And you bet on Marcus Rashford scoring in a one on one. And Ten Hag basically said, I think he's on a really good run. And that proves the chances he creates. Now he is two games where he is a bit unlucky. Sunday he had a goal that was cancelled. Today he didn't score. And maybe it was more by himself, but save it for the coming weeks. On Newcastle, Ten Hag basically said they're a team that can play high intensity with a lot of energy, so that makes them a tough opponent, and we have to play at our best to get the right result. We have to go from game to game. We have difficult upcoming opponents, but they will be a good test for us as a squad to go in those battles, and it will give us energy. So Ten Hag is quite excited for this game, and he is excited because, like I said, Newcastle are not going to be like Omonia. They are not going to sit back. Newcastle will come and attack us, and they will feel that there are certain weaknesses we do have, that they will want to come and exploit. So we need to be on it. We need to be in Newcastle's faces from minute one, put them under pressure, and get that early goal, which will then make Newcastle come out more, leaving us to attack them even more. We will be dominant on the ball, in my opinion, I believe. And as a starting 11, I think the back four, of course, the gear has to be in goal, but the back four needs to be Luke Shaw. I know Malasia played last night, and I know he had a decent performance. But Luke Shaw, based on his performance against Everton, should come in and start at left back. Varane and Martinez continuing their wonderful centre back partnership, and of course Delo at right back. In midfield, I do want to see Casemiro play with Fred and Bruno in the 10. Now, of course, some might say bring in Eriksen, but Newcastle might just exploit that. And I think because of Ten Hag resting Eriksen, he might actually start Eriksen. So perhaps Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno will be the midfield three that he has gone with and feels most safe with. And up front, I definitely believe it will be Rashford. I think Martial will start if he is fit, and Anthony on the right hand side. A strong enough 11 to go in and win the game for us against Newcastle. And I think that we will go and win the game. I think Newcastle will come at us, but I think we will be able to deal with them, not as well as I think we will, but I think we will be able to deal with Newcastle, whatever they have to throw at us. And I think we will be able to get a good result and continue another win, another, shall I say, four wins in a row. And again, it will be three in the Premier League in on the spin. So thank you guys for joining me. Of course, subscribe to the channel. My name is Session. I always speak about Manchester United, always do previews, and of course, drop a like. It definitely does help the channel out. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the game on Sunday. Glory, glory, Manchester United. As we always say, bye bye, Red Devils.